How did we start Wildflower? Well, I guess I met Amanda at a songwriting workshop and thought that we might have enough in common and our voices might work, and it was really fun. We had the same kind of vibe. And then Cindy and I met each other from teaching in church, and Leah we met
Through me.
through you.
And actually, her and I were friends when we were very little. And then we
Yes.
really hadn't reconnected until Wildflower, pretty much. So, yeah.
And I came up with the name Wildflower when I was on my bike up at Lake Superior on the Gitchigumi Trail, and I was looking at all these beautiful wildflowers as I was riding along and just marveling at the colors and the sizes and the shapes and how they all bloom at different times, and just dawned on me that a band name for girls or women would be Wildflower. It might be a good one because we are all different, yet we are all beautiful in our own way, which is difficult to say sometimes, but I think in our own ways it works. And so Wildflower stuck in my brain, and when I mentioned it to you, thought it might work, and we came together. Cello was an important addition to our band because when I wrote particularly River Valley Home and a couple others, I could hear it in my mind, and I could hear the part, and it just seemed like we needed that depth, that richness from the bottom, and it just felt great. And when we ran into each other and Cindy, we played in church, did a song, and realized that would be nice if she would be willing to work on some original music. And
Yeah. You called me up on New Year's Day and said, "What are you doing today?" And I'm like, "Not much of anything." So came over and you guys were rehearsing, and that was my first rehearsal.
and she's classically trained. That's the biggest difference. We pulled her into her completely out of your comfort zone. So
Yeah, and the age difference actually is one of the nice things about the group, to have someone like Patty who is close to my age, and then Aaliyah and Amanda who are like the ages of my children, and to develop friendships with them, and that's, for me, the social part of the group is a big part of what this group is.
Well, I wrote Hey Now on sort of a whim. I don't actually remember spending all of the time on it. It's just sort of one of those songs that it just sort of came out of a happy blue sky day, and just makes everybody kind of relax. And so usually when we start our shows out that way, it seems to be a good fit for who we are.
Hey now, what do you know? Hey now, what do you say? Oh, I think that today is gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be great. Hey now.
I remember coming to your house because you had just written and you were polishing it up, and then you let me monkey around with a couple unusual harmonies, and it was so much fun for me. I thought I have to work with this gal. This is fun. This is really fun. I had just heard you were just finishing it.
Yeah, I was finishing up the Keeping Hearts album, I think, when we started working together, and you guys actually came and did one song in the studio on that album called Running Down the Sun, which has kind of a neat story behind it too. Is about a mom who is overcoming her history of substance abuse through the pursuit of athletic training. So she is competing in triathlons and actually just qualified for the AG World Championships in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow.
So
Did
these
you need
ladies
a band to go with to support
possibly.
River Valley Home, I actually wrote it for my youngest son when he graduated from high school. I wanted him to remember where he grew up because I just had a feeling he wouldn't live here his entire life, even though he loves the nature and the town of Winona. And so I wrote it for my youngest son, Eric, on his graduation. And then just reflective about the beauty of this particular place and how it kind of speaks to my heart, and that it has become my River Valley home.
Big moon lights up the sky at night. Stars are dancing in the wind. Cool waters washes across my feet as the Mississippi River shines within.
And then drawing in the keys and vocals and cello, and on top of my guitar, my simple guitar line that I repeat, and they just keep building, and just makes it a joy to sing.
So Patty and Amanda are the primary songwriters, but we all kind of collaborate and we give each other advice, and we say this would be a great place for a cello solo or a piano solo, and we need some harmony here. So it's really fun to all work together.
Who should book us? I think we do well in church settings, civic settings, community events, home concerts, large and small. I think that people who liked songs that have meaning,
And stories behind them.
stories behind them, and that have the instrumentation of basically 4 voices, that they like to see the build and the complexity of a song, and see it had that simple nature and where the story came from, but actually the emotion of it as it comes out when we perform.
Well, we've played a couple of festivals. We've played the Great River Shakespeare Festival, and we have played Boats in Bluegrass, and that was really fun to be able to be pulled into that local event.
Midwest Music Fest.
Midwest Music Fest a few years back now. We've had a variety of reactions emotionally from our music. Sometimes it's because there's such change in every song. Somebody different leads every song. And so it sometimes they're happy and people are just, give us hugs afterwards because we end on a really happy note. But then there's been a couple of times where we've done a cover song by, like the Songbird, where we've had people cry afterwards. And so, it's can be a variety of responses, and we're happy that we get to share this music with them.
One of the songs I wrote called Given speaks often to parents or grandparents about you've been given to me, God bless me the day you were born, about their children. And I love when I look out and somebody's either tearing up or straightening up because that song speaks to their heart. That is how it feels to me too, and that's a great privilege to write something and somebody actually, it matters to them. That's really neat.
I think a somewhat unique feature of this group is that we have these 3 women with beautiful voices, and the blending of the harmonies that they do is very unique and beautiful, and we often have a lot of audience members comment on how well their voices blend.
When your cello is the fourth voice.
Cello is the 4th voice. It's the bass.
If you're in our area or if we're in yours, come on out and see us. We'd be happy to get to know you. It'd be really nice to see you there.